look at the camera or do I look at you?
You can look at me or the camera.
Okay.
So hello, my name is Natalya Sarkari. I am a marine conservation student at the University of Miami and a social scientist for Empowered Solutions for Environmental Sustainability. This is my third interview on Wednesday, June 5th. How about you go ahead and introduce yourself to us?
Yeah, my name is Derek Orndoff. I'm currently going into my senior year at the University of Kentucky as a chemical engineer. This is my first trip with ESES, and yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about yourself. What are some of your hobbies? What do you like to do for fun?
So, I'm really big into board games and video games. I love movies, love chilling out with my friends. I'm not much of a going out person, but I love staying in and having a good night in. So.
Nice. What are some of your favorite board games, Derek?
I love Clue. Don't love Monopoly. I'm not very good at that one. I love Catchphrase is always really good. Boggle's fun. Mystery Date, which is this obscure game from the 60s, is phenomenal.
Nice.
But yeah.
So, how are you enjoying this ESES trip so far?
Oh, it's been incredible. I've seen so much more than I expected to ever see, and it's completely changed my perspective on things. Coming from the United States and having traveled abroad to Europe, and that's kind of been my only experience. I didn't really know what to expect coming here, and so getting to the opportunity to talk to the people here, see how they live, what they do, and what they're studying has been really informative and has helped me a lot.
Awesome. So you mentioned earlier that you were a chemical engineer.
Correct.
What made you want to go down that route?
So in high school, I absolutely loved chemistry and I loved math. And so when I was trying to decide on a major that I wanted to study, I decided either between chemistry or chemical engineering. And I ended up shadowing some chemical engineers at AEP, which is an electrical company based out of Columbus, Ohio. And I ended up falling in love with what they were working on, which is cleaning up emissions from the process. So I actually decided that chemical engineering would be the route I wanted to go.
Nice, that's awesome. So how did you find out about ESES, and what made you decide that this is something that you want to do?
So my freshman year, I got an internship at Toyota to be an environmental engineer, and I worked on their air emissions, their biodiversity goals, things like that. And one of the things I looked into was carbon crediting and carbon offsets, and I ended up taking a class the next semester with Dr. Ferris, who's one of the main members of ESES. And I went up to her after class because I loved what she talked about and her passion for it. And she got me roped in and said, I know the professor for you to talk to. And so she connected me to Dr. C, who then got me involved on some research projects and started talking to me about ESES and what it all entertained, and it just really clicked with what I wanted to do. And so I've been working with ESES now for about 2 years.
Amazing. So what was your initial impression of ESES, and more importantly of the biofuel processor?
It blew my mind. Coming in, I honestly didn't even know that plastic was made from oil because I'd never even thought to ask about it or look into it at all. So hearing him talk about, you can make oil from plastic waste, I'm like, oh my gosh, why aren't we doing this everywhere? Why is this not everything is made this way? And so coming in and learning about the processor and ESES goals and everything, it's it makes me love the organization so much because of the help they can give to communities and people who really need the support, and also help the environment at the same time. It kind of hits all three of those pillars of sustainability, which is the social, economic, and environmental. It's kind of providing people opportunities to have an income stream and kind of boost them up, especially women, because that's who mostly does the plastic collection. And also it's supporting the environment because it's reducing that plastic waste. So it's kind of hits all three boxes.
Yeah.
Really inspires me.
That's a great answer. So you kind of alluded to this earlier, but how has ESES and being on this trip informed or changed your outlook on the plastic waste issues of the world, and more importantly in developing countries like Zimbabwe?
So they kind of always tell you that it's bad, and you're like, oh yeah, that's really unfortunate, and you may see some pictures of plastic waste on the ground, and you're like, oh, this is bad. we need to stop this. But coming here and seeing it in person, it's like driving on an 8-hour drive through all of rural, like Africa, where it's like very few people, there's still plastic everywhere, every single part of the drive. So it's really been, like I said earlier, eye-opening to see the scale of it. And then to even see, like, yesterday we got to see the plastic landfill and the plastic recycling system that they have in place, and it was very, very heartbreaking to see the kind of conditions that these people have to live in order to deal with this waste that is being put out in the country and everything.
So if ESES had an unlimited budget, what would be some of the changes or upgrades that you would make or implement?
Unlimited budget. Well, first off, traveling everywhere, bringing more supplies, not even for the processor, but for, like, currently we're at the National University of Science and Technology, and seeing their lab space and the resources they have and how hard it is for them to import in certain lab devices. If there was a way to bring other lab equipment with us that may not, like, it may support the processor but also support them in more ways, it's like, I think being able to do that would be an absolutely great thing, and offering more resources that are way more accessible to us in the States to these people here would be incredible. Obviously, creating more processors to get out to more people and kind of get it started on a more wide scale would be nice. And being able to supply resources to convert all types of plastic, not just the 3 that we've been focusing on currently. So being able to supply catalysts to convert PET, which is one of the biggest environmental wastes here, but it currently can't be pyrolyzed because of the chemicals that it produces during the process are dangerous to people. So being able to supply those catalysts and possibly continuously supply the catalysts needed to be able to do that would be another great opportunity.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Thank you for that. And this is my last question, but I always consider it to be the most important one. What gives you hope for the future, Derek?
Honestly, it's we're constantly, like, thrown negative and horrible news, and you see things like the plastic waste here and you're like, wow, this is so bleak and horrible. But it's little projects like this that really show that people are trying to make a difference, and it can be made. It's just people need to take that initiative and maybe look outside of their own world. And we live in a bubble in the States, and we don't really think about it because, you throw it in the garbage and it's gone. You never see it again. It goes somewhere into some magical world that you don't have to deal with it anymore, and it was easy to use, so why would you think about it? But if people start to look outside of their own world, and I think they are starting to look outside a little more, and like with social media and projects, and kind of open people's eyes, and that's really what gives me hope, is just the awareness that people are starting to make a change.
That's a great answer. Thank you for that. And that was all of the questions that I had for you. Do you have anything that you would like to ask of me or like to know?
Yeah, I would like to know kind of what inspired you to kind of click with this project that's so, technical based, as opposed to, like, we don't really have any of that social side other than, like, you're the component of that. So, like, what brought you into this project there?
It was kind of like what you said earlier about inspiration. It was very inspiring for me to be able to see that this kind of work is being done and that there are people who care. Like you said, I'm not an engineer. I'm the social scientist of the team. Mm-hmm. And it brings me a lot of joy and a lot of, I guess gratitude is the word, to be able to talk to people and learn about their stories. And there's so much opportunity for that here in Zimbabwe, here in Africa in general. And yeah, I guess just having the opportunity to reach out and connect to people, that's kind of what onboarded me to the team. Sorry if the wording is weird, but that's kind of what inspired me to join the team.
That's great. Yeah, and we need people more like you.
Thank you. That really means a lot to me.
We got so many the same mindset kind of people, then it's good to break it up a little bit.
It's always good to have diversity.
Exactly. Yep.
Are there any more questions or anything?
Nope, I think that's everything.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we have good luck today with the processor and making the fuel oil.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good job.